Yeah, because I think this is something that like a lot of people could really benefit from, but it takes more time. So like when you're doing a character design or you're doing any kind of like illustration, like as soon as you get something that's kind of good, and you could say that like this that lactose here is kind of good. It's like, all right, let's jump into the final, let's do it. But you get so much value out of redrawing the character or the design, like redrawing it again, redrawing it, sometimes like 4 or 5 times. I've had drawings that I've one character in particular, I probably redrew it like 10 times. But like every time you do it, it's like you get to push new ways, you get to push new areas, and you get to focus on the things you really like and get rid of things you don't really like, and just really solidify a lot of decisions about the design of the character. So for someone like Lactose, what I would do is kind of pinpoint the things that I really like about him. I love this jug. I love that he's holding this big milk jug. I think that's super rad. Sure. I love how his gut kind of really like sticks out over from like the waistband of his toga. Big paws, big feet. Also this like, I really like this like head shape. And this big chin. So again, I'm just kind of pinpointing like what are the things that I really like about this design, and I'm gonna focus on those in the next one. So if I was drawing him again, just to get the body shape, again, I think I want to really focus on this gut, so I might make that even bigger. So let's say his chest is like that. Then his gut's like really big. In fact, maybe it's so big that it's kind of pouring over the waistline. And then to make this look bigger, I can actually shrink this part, like this, the bottom half of him. Because things are only big or small like by comparison to kind of everything out around it. So let's say I make his feet go down to like here. So maybe he's got like a let's say the bottom of his toga is kind of just gone like that far, and then his legs, maybe they're like a little bit smaller to really emphasize the size of his body, but again, I really want those big paws, so I'm gonna leave those big. And again, if you've taken my my animal drawing class, character design with animals, the name's something like that. This is what I do, is I come up with a design and then I go through like 2 or 3 iterations to really hone in on the things that I think are worth honing in on. But yeah, let's say, in fact, I might even, this is a fun thing about working in Photoshop, is you can also just do like this thing where I'm like, I think this chest is too big. I'm gonna squish it some more. Yeah, let's really exaggerate that. And again, I really liked that neck, so I'm gonna like, I might exaggerate the direction, make his head really coming forward. Maybe really emphasize this like look he's giving. A big, okay, yeah, let's make the chin like that, why not? That was an accident, but I'm keeping it. I don't know, maybe I don't want these ears to like stand out too much, so I might just make them little. I think little, again, like because he's supposed to be kind of like fat and big, the more like little things you can add, the more it emphasizes the parts that are like really big. So, okay, and then there's his toga. I won't put the drawstring in just yet. Maybe I want this, again, I like that jug. I might make it like even bigger. I'll make his like arms kind of small, but then his forearms big. It's just a fun sort of thing. Again, yeah, I'm just trying to like kind of narrate what I'm doing as I'm doing it. If you have any questions at any point, yeah, just let me know. Be like, why did you do that, Hayden? It's probably a reason, but not necessarily. And you know what, maybe instead of shaking his fist, I'm gonna have him like kind of like pointing at someone, or like I see what you're doing there. I don't like that. There we go. Okay. Good old lactose. Get away from my bowl of cream. Yeah, Ryan. I have this thing where like I'm unable to multitask even in the simplest manners. Yeah, listen to my breathing. Sometimes if I'm doing something that like doesn't require very much thought, like maybe it's just rendering out a piece, like maybe I just have some kind of monotonous art task to do, then I'll put on some music. But even when I do, it's almost always doesn't have lyrics, is relatively familiar, and isn't something I just get distracted really easily. That's what I've kind of learned. So I'm not liking this hand. So yeah, I don't really listen to anything. I've tried music, I've tried podcasts. Podcasts definitely don't work for me. Even Teddy, and I think you suggested like, hey, we should get on like Google Hangouts and chat to each other while we're working. And I was like, wow, I will like make nothing, or it'll just be really bad. So anyway, I can't do it. So if you guys wish there was music playing right now, yeah, play your own music. I do think though, like it helped, and I would, to be honest, I would actually recommend to other people to try and work without anything playing in the background. I think I think I'm not the only one that benefits from it. I'm doing an okay job at monitoring the chat, Matt. I think what maybe is a little harder is like to narrate while I'm drawing, but you know, at this point I made like 10 classes or something, so I've got a lot of practice in of like drawing and talking at the same time. If I was trying to draw, talk, and listen to music at the same time, which I tried in some of my first streams, my head just explodes. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I'm glad I did a good job. Yeah, I know there's been a couple cases where I'll be like either drawing or like typing something up, doing something on the computer, and Melissa will come and start talking to me, and I think that I can actually respond to her, and so I will try to talk to her while I'm doing something else. And I think at least on like a one case, like my eyes started twitching or something, like I just couldn't do it. Yeah. And so if you can do it, I know, maybe I have an opinion on this. I think that nobody really can multitask at all. I don't think anybody really can do it, but I think some people are better than others at juggling two things. I just think everybody would benefit more if they just did one thing at a time. That's what I find works for me. It might not work for everybody else, but I've also kind of read a lot of stuff to that extent as well. So I would recommend, even though it can maybe feel a bit more boring, to just try and do a piece without just you and your thoughts, and see how it works. My opinion is backed by science. Yeah, Tatiana, you can totally just swear to yourself while you're working. Like, that works. But that being said, like, do you guys? Because I know that I'm more of an outlier when it comes to like listening. Like, I know a lot of people listen to podcasts and music and stuff like that when they're working. So for the sake of everybody else, like, what do you guys listen to? That's funny, Teddy. Bodega Boys. What is that? Who are they? By the way, guys, the time has gone up, but I'm having a good time, so I'm just gonna keep going. So you guys can, I don't know, do what you want, stay, leave. I hope you stay, but I'm gonna keep drawing at least for the next little while. I haven't been too social recently, so this is actually kind of a nice thing for me. Teddy in a swear track. But don't put music in the background. What's wrong with talking to yourself? I think it's like, it can kind of help you suss out some necessary internal dialogue. Sometimes you just gotta work stuff out, and unless you just like literally just have to fill the empty space. I know that kind of happens. That's probably not as productive as like, I think there is a certain kind of constructiveness that can come from just chatting to yourself. I actually have like a audio recorder like app on my phone, and I usually when I'm like driving in the car, I'll just record myself talking to myself, and it's actually really helpful. But that also could just be like, hey, and you don't talk enough to people. You gotta get out. Yeah, Matt, thanks a lot. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for the kind words, and yeah, enjoy work. Oh, yeah, if you have coworkers around, maybe maybe you shouldn't talk to yourself. I don't know if you're still around, Ryan, but you asked the question, what do you listen to? I feel like there must have been a reason behind that question. Maybe you're looking for stuff, or maybe you got some sweet listenings. So I like to listen to music when I'm like driving, or like podcasts when I'm driving, or going for a walk or something. So I like to listen to stuff. Maybe just not at this point in time. I'm gonna give him a bracelet because I want to. Say there's like, I don't know, like, what are, maybe there's like some Greek symbols of some sort, even though I know these are Roman numerals I'm putting on there, but I don't feel like going and find the reference right now. That works, Anna. Yeah. Maybe you guys can just like both sit beside each other and talk to yourselves and be okay with that. When it comes to the creative part of the process, the brainstorming, sometimes the science and insecurity is crippling. Yeah. No, I agree, Ryan, that there is there are certain places for like where music can really help. Like there's definitely been times where I've listened to music while just doodling, and it's helped me come up with some cool concepts, or just kind of turn off that, like you said, that critical part of my brain. Again, like 90% of the time, I think I benefit from not listening to music, but it is, it can definitely be helpful sometimes. 10-hour rain sounds. Patrick, when we saw the Del Toro exhibit, and he had like that rain room, like he created that room, yeah, for everybody here. Like Guillermo del Toro, he has like a room in his house where he's like created projections onto fake windows that look like rain's hitting the window, and it's constantly playing like a soundtrack of rain falling, and so it feels like he's kind of in this like eerie kind of room by himself in the dark where he can write his horror stories. Which is, yeah, it's pretty cool. I've actually I'm reading a book right now called Deep Work, and he's talking about Carl Jung, and the man built himself like a castle for him to get his work done in. Over in like a place called Bollingen, Sweden, he like, I think he just like, Jung was a student of Freud, and then he came up with some stuff that kind of flew in the face of what Freud was saying, and he realized, oh crap, I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to now that I'm criticizing like the biggest mind in psychoanalysis, I'm gonna have to you know, be on my A game. And so to get rid of all distractions, he built like a tower where he could go lock himself away. Nobody else had the key. There was no electricity. He could just sit there to think and write for months on end. And as the years went on, he added all these extensions until it's pretty much like a castle. Yeah. I'm just trying to get, like, if I can have my own room in the house that's a studio, like, where I can do my work, that'd be really cool. But a castle would be really sweet.